Welcome back to another Conductor Sunday Livestream. I am joined by Hollow Gelato, Udi, and Mark from Leaving Today's podcast. It's going to be a great conversation. We got loads to talk about. But before we get started, I'm going to start with George, the Disney Italiano. Thank you for joining tonight's live stream. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Absolutely. And thanks for having me back on. It's always a good time. Can't wait to have a nice deep discussion with you gentlemen. But in any case, you can find me on social media on Hollow Gelato, where Abby and I cover all things theme parks, whether it's Disney, Universal, Knott's Berry Farm, even the cruise line industry. We also do a lot of just non-theme park things. We cover a lot of events, do just a lot of different things, and that's what Hollow means in Tagalog. We mix it up. So you can find us on YouTube on Hollow Gelato and also Hollow Gelato on Instagram.
Absolutely. George, thank you for joining. Udi, I'm going to start with you, sir. Always great to see you.
Always good to be seen. Thank you.
Absolutely. Where can everyone find you on social media?
You can pretty much find me on my one and only real thing is Instagram, which is HAXGOALIE, Hacks Goalie. And then, of course, you can find me along with Mark over on the Leaving Today podcast, Instagram.
Absolutely. Udi, it's always great to have you, my friend.
Thank you.
Where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us, Conductor. And it's very great to meet George finally. I've been watching you for like a year or two, so it's great to finally be able to talk to you. You can find me on Leaving Today podcast. Every other Monday, our episode drops. We're starting our 10th year of doing Disneyland news and reviews. So episode 237 is out right now. And then every Wednesday night on LTP Lounge, from 6 to 7 Indy time, Udi and I talk about the latest topic and get in touch with our friends. So you can find us at Leaving Today Podcast and Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I've actually been a guest multiple times now on the Leaving Today podcast channel. It's a wonderful time with Udi and Mark. Always a great time. Yep. And I've been with George. I lost count. I can't even count on my fingers how many times I've been on his channel, but always a great time. And congratulations, Mark and Udi, for 10 years of doing that podcast. Absolutely incredible.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to wish everybody a happy new year. This is the first Conductor Sunday live stream of 2026. Great to have you guys on. And I just filmed the video. It's actually uploading right now for members only. It's my review of the Jones Soda collab with Fallout that you can currently buy at Costco, I think for like $17.99.
Really?
Yes. Oh. So that will be hopefully uploaded to members by tomorrow morning. We all love YouTube. Sometimes it wants to cooperate and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what to say, but it's going to be available hopefully tomorrow. So everyone definitely go check that out. And you can find my member link in the description down below. But gentlemen, we're going to start off with just some dates. Let me see here. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Okay. And this is courtesy of Hollow Gelato. He sent me a lot of info, so that's going to just make things go a little bit faster. But this is from Boardwalk Times. A list of the Muppets anniversaries in 2026. We have the Muppets Haunted Mansion, the 5th. I'm assuming, Georgia, it's July or January 5th, correct? Or the 5th?
No. What it shows in the brackets is the actual anniversary. So Muppets Haunted Mansion, they're going on their 5th anniversary.
Okay. So Muppets Haunted Mansion 5th anniversary, the Muppets 2011 film 15th anniversary, Muppet Treasure Island 30th anniversary. Wow. The Great Muppet Caper 45 years, and the Muppet Show the 50th anniversary. So I want to start with Udi real quick. You know, since we lost Muppets Courtyard, are you at all surprised that there was such a demand when we lost Muppets Courtyard to make way for Monstropolis that we're getting a reskin of Rock and Roller Coaster to the Muppets. Are you surprised by that at all?
Honestly, no. And here, this is for me. Let me be 100% honest. Muppets to me were always growing up. I would watch it, and they don't have that like connection with me.
Sure.
So I get it why a lot of people, are attached to the way they are. So anything with the park, anything like that, and the parks, anytime you get something that's beloved like that, even though it's not my thing, yeah, of course you're gonna have there's gonna have to be a response by Disney, right? There's gonna be like, okay, well, maybe we need to do something to keep that in the park. We complain a lot, or we critique a lot, would probably be a better way to put it. So no, I'm not surprised at all. Like there's an essence to that, to the Muppets that I think still need to remain somewhere.
Sure.
And I think they're integral into a lot of people's core memories. And so, yeah, I mean, it's good for me. Whether I connect or go do anything Muppet wise, honestly, I would. Whenever we went to DCA and they had, the show, whatever, I would go. I'd go hang out show because it reminded me of my childhood. The nostalgia factor kicked in. But, yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
Okay. No, 100%, because
Yeah.
we had a show out here in DCA. Me and George were both present for that. It was the kickoff for the 70th. It was Celebration Happy at World of Color. And I have to tell you, to be honest with you, gentlemen, the actual show for Celebrating Happy was more disappointing than the pre-show, which it was. What was it, George? Like 2 or 3 minutes, and it was a pre-show.
For the World of Color Happiness. So it's like a pre-show. You're probably looking at maybe like a 3-minute kind of like pre-show, and it was just strictly the Muppets.
And everyone was so excited for it. Like, I mean, it got so much praise, and of course, everyone stuck around because it was the first showing of World of Color Happiness, so everyone didn't really know what it was, so everyone just stood around. But I can imagine a lot of people left on future shows of that. Just watch the Muppets. Well, there you go. See, he's part of the algorithm here.
Yeah.
Just watch the Muppets part of it and then left, because the whole show was kind of it was okay. It wasn't great. I think more people were excited to see the Muppets, pre-show than, watching the actual show.
And I also think too, just the Muppets in general, I feel like it's like a teetering aspect where, you have, they're kind of like the flavor of the month, so to speak. It's like, it's either you really like it or you it's not really your cup of tea.
Sure.
And I feel like it teeters on that because it feels like that Disney is trying to get them back. And the reason why I brought this article up, to begin with, is that they're kind of showcasing the Muppets a lot lately. So now with all these milestones of past Muppet projects, and they're still going to be bringing the Muppets back in Rock and Roller Coaster. I'm very curious to see the direction that Disney takes with not just the Muppets going into Rock and Roller Coaster, but also the new Muppets. It's really not a new show. It's more like of a special that's going to be premiering on Disney Plus. Executive producers Sabrina Carpenter and Seth Rogen are spearheading the project. But also with Mark McHugh in the comments, this is also the 7th anniversary of the wrong sounding Kermit. I actually have to really agree with him on that. I am not a fan of, and no offense to the performer, everyone has their own way of doing things. But for me, aside from Jim Henson actually performing Kermit, of how Walt Disney performed Mickey Mouse, Steve Whitmire was, to me, he was Kermit because that was the Kermit I grew up with in the 90s when he did Muppet Treasure Island, when he did the Muppet Christmas Carol, when he did even the revival of the Muppet movie back in 2011. with Jason Segel. So for me, it just seems like the route that Disney is taking, that they're really trying to bring the Muppets back, but it just seems like it's been a lot of misses. So I'm very curious to see what the Disney Plus special does, and to bring the Muppets back in Rock and Roller Coaster, because this is going to be a newer rendition of the Muppets. When we're used to Muppet Vision 3D, that was Jim's Muppets. So now we're going to see Disney Muppets.
It's going to be interesting by far. And I'm very curious as well, because it's funny, because we're going to be out there on the 4th through the 17th. And I have to tell you guys, well, George already knows this, but I think they're closing Rock and Roller Coaster like 2 days before we're getting there.
Oh,
so I can't even experience Aerosmith. I can only just watch POVs of it. But it's something that I'm super excited for, because being a 90s kid, I watched a lot of Muppets, Christmas specials, and some other specials they had with the Muppets. And my dad's a huge collector of just collectibles, baseball stuff, Olympics, all sorts of stuff. And I think he had a couple pieces from the Muppets that were either signed or very collectible. So that was pretty awesome growing up with the Muppets, and as a 90s kid for sure. But
nice.
yeah. This is also, again, from George in Boardwalk Times. It says in 2026, we were expected to learn the official names for these future Walt Disney World projects: Villains Theme Land, Monsters Incorporated theme suspended roller coaster, Monsters Inc. theme theatrical experience, Indiana Jones theme ride through attraction, and Kanto theme ride through attraction, and Disney animal themed carousel. So what I'm thinking is, because we kind of been speculating back and forth that this D23, I would be shocked if we got any big announcements. I don't think we are. I think it's going to be a lot of updated stuff to current projects, because we've talked about this, Mark and Udi, when I had OG 55 on, and we can all agree, and even with George, I've talked to him about it as well, saying that with what they have right now, they have a full plate, and adding more on top is just not, it's not good business. And on top of that, it kind of talking about it over and over with fellow content creators, it almost seems like it's careless if they keep adding more and more and more when they can't even handle what they got. So I think, like I said, this D23 is going to be a lot of updated information. But Udi, I'm going to start with you. What do you think about that?
No, I completely agree. We kind of talked about it, I believe, our show, right? Yeah, I think your point is pretty valid. I mean, we've had it before, and I brought up the point. It was a couple of D23s ago. We got nothing but like a blue sky presentation.
Sure.
What if? Right? Yeah, all the what if stuff.
All the what if stuff, and I'm like, well, that was pointless. And then we got this other. Then the next year they said shovel ready, and well, I'm not going to comment on that, but yeah, no, I think we're spot on. I think it would actually be good of them not to try to go deeper in with project after project. It would be better for, I think, for me and a lot of people to be like, no, okay, so here's all the things that we have and we've been saying we're going to do. Now here, let's begin to make it a reality. Like, these are the things, like we got today, I think I saw photos today. Cocoa, they're starting to move the shrubbery, they're starting to move the plants, they're starting to do that. So, like, talk about that. Talk about, don't tell me this is coming. Go here. This is what we are actually doing. Here is the proof. Concept art. You brought up having 3D models. I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I think D23 should be a substantive in the way of, like, here's proof, here's the meat and potatoes, here's the core of what we're doing, and here's everything it is, and here's we're going to deeper details, not blue sky, not what if, but this is the reality. And I really think that over the last few years, we've kind of all been let down. We've all ridden a roller coaster about, well, we're going to do this. And this goes on all facets of the company, right?
Sure.
Whether it be movies, all of it. But let them kind of focus in, concentrate, say, this is what we're doing, and then begin to deliver. And I think that will be more beneficial than, like you were saying, just keep on throwing stuff on top.
No, 100%. Mark, what do you think?
For Wes' actual question, I kind of got lost with what he said.
No worries. So basically, what I was saying is this D23 is not it's going to just be an updated information D23. I would be absolutely shocked if we got any more new announcements for the domestic parks. Do you think that's what it's going to be, or do you think something different?
Yeah, I'm gonna echo pretty much what Udi said, and I'm gonna tamper my excitement because we've been dealing with this for, I don't know, it's probably 3 or 4 different D23s now. But this is the last one before the Olympics, so I expect something. Yeah, I mean, you said domestic parks. I think again, Walt Disney World is going to get a lot of love, a lot of attention. I mean, they're going to have to talk about Villains Theme Land, which I'm solely stoked for. This Monsters Inc. themes, Suspended Coaster, I'm stoked for that. I'm stoked for Indiana Jones thing, which is going to be what the dinosaur attraction was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for that, but I kind of pay attention to the Anaheim Park, or the Anaheim Parks, and I like you said, Conductor, we're probably just going to get a bunch of updates about what we already know.
Sure.
I don't expect to be surprised by much of anything, except for maybe, like you said, like real life models of Avatar Land and some Coco village / boat ride. And I sure hope there's a village there.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of mentioned that when you go see Epcot, when you go to the Mexico Pavilion, they have the Mexican restaurant along with the boat ride. Isn't that right, George?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So how cool would that be to have like a Mexican restaurant intertwined with this Coco ride?
Well, okay. I'm going to tell you something right now, Mark, because you will soon, you and Odie will soon know if you watch a lot of content between me and George, because we're actually planning something, and I'm going to let him talk about that. And I think George knows where I'm going with this, but I would not be surprised if while I'm in Epcot in the Mexican Pavilion and I ride that attraction, I'm going to have like street tacos and wearing a sombrero riding this. Knowing George, he's going to capture that moment. I just know he's crazy. But George, I'm going to ask you the same. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. So one last thing. So I expect that we're going to hear some more Coco news on the D23 and Avengers, and I hope that there's a 3D model. But one last question about D23 is that I think I was in the same boat as George was last year, where I got on early being a D23 member and I got iced out. And I think you got iced out too, right?
Oh yeah, I think everybody even in Guam heard me.
I was so pissed. I mean, I already had my hotel booked. I had tickets booked and everything. I was so pissed off that I couldn't go. But George, how did you end up going? I was curious.
So we actually had a really good friend that was able to nab us tickets. Now, of course, he actually ended up getting it through like a third party thing, which was really risky because there were a lot of people that were even getting rejected by those because they're thinking that they're real tickets and they were fake. And I'm like, the whole entire time, like, even though that he presented us with tickets, I was very grateful and everything, but I'm like, my palms were sweating the entire time. And I'm like, please don't let me get to the gate and they reject me. Because I'm like, but sure enough, no, it was actually like the person was legit to my friend with the tickets, and we were able to pick it up at Will Call. And so that's how we were able to go. But if it wasn't for our mutual friend, like, there was no way that I was able to go, because what had happened was I was and I kid you not, I will never forget this number. This number will stick in me for the rest of my life. 1,706. That's what number I was in the queue.
Oh,
and I'm like, I'm not going to get no tickets. I'm number 1,706. And I posted it on social media and everyone's like congratulating me. And I'm like, why are you congratulating me? They're like, we're number 45,000.
Oh my God.
Wow.
We're 1,700. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to get the pick of the litter. And literally it was. I went through the queue. I got onto the website. It showed the whole map of the Honda Center where you can kind of pick your seats.
Yep.
They were all green. They were all lit up. And I'm like, wow, I could pick whatever one. As I'm putting the seats in my cart, they're removing them from my cart.
Whoa.
Because what had happened was they let so many people in at once.
Oh, geez.
That everyone was clicking on the same seats at the exact same time. So the computer wasn't reading who actually got the seats.
Oh my God.
So every seat that I was clicking on, it was taking it out of my cart. And then they all started filling up. Then they knocked me out.
Oh, man.
And then I had to go back into the queue. By the time I got through the queue, it says, we're sorry, we're sold out for the day. And I thought to myself, I called D23. And I said, can you answer me this question with your computer system of like what you go through for tickets? I said, imagine you go to, and in honor of Conductor, I'm going to use the store of Costco. Say you go to the store of Costco and you start putting items in your cart and you're going shopping, but an employee keeps on following you around and taking those items out of your cart. I was like, that's what it was like. And I said, you guys need to fix whatever it is you got going, because I said, I'm probably not the only one that went through. And I mean, they actually patched me through to like a head honcho of D23. This is how far that I kept on going. Mark McHugh, you better believe it, man. I'm the new Karen for that one.
Karen,
but I was like so disappointed because I really wanted to go to this one because I've never missed a D23 since its conception of 2009. I've never missed one.
Wow.
And now with this next one, I kind of know what I'm getting into, and I think I'm going to try to not be so particular as to where I'm sitting. I think honestly, I'm just going to click on 2 seats wherever they're at, and that's that. But I will say, if I don't get to go to D23, Conductor and I have some plans on the horizon already, so I can't be completely upset if I don't get to go to D23.
Okay.
Exactly. I'm going to read the super chat, and then George, I'll go to you with that question. This is from Hidden Geek Village for a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, do you think we are going to get a solid Villain Land with great theming and a thrilling coaster? Also, Monsters Land, I really hope we get a really good ride. Happy New Year. What do you guys think?
For me, well, Happy New Year to you. And thank you for honoring Conductor with the super chat. So really quick for me, and then you can get to the other guys, because Disney did confirm that there is going to be 1 roller coaster and 1 dark ride for Villains Land. That we do know. We just don't know which villains they're going to use, and like the name of it, the ride system. That's probably what we're going to be at this D23. But they did guarantee us 1 dark ride, 1 roller coaster. And from the latest, we call it Imagineering, they were showcasing like newer technology for the audio animatronics, and they mentioned Hades as one of the characters, which
that'd be awesome.
An audio animatronic of Hades before. So I'm assuming that's going to be for Villains Land for sure. And then really quick for Monsters Inc., from what the concept art looks like to me, I mean, that looks like a banger roller coaster. Like the fact that it's going to be Disney's very first suspended roller coaster. I would enjoy it probably, no matter probably for me what the storyline is. I mean, I do love good storyline when it comes to Disney, But also with me being a thrill geek, I just love myself a good coaster. So I'd be happy at the end of the day with that.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then before I get to Mark and Udi, George, I'm going to ask you another question going back to a question I had before about D23. Do you see anything possibly with any new announcements, or can you all agree that it's just going to be an update year and 2028 is probably going to be another big D23 event?
Yeah, I think I agree with the guys here. I feel like that they're just going to more so continue the announcements of what was already announced. They need to, and I wouldn't be upset with that because they can't keep on making these announcements and then not give us no information and then go to new announcements. That would be kind of, dare I say it, asinine, if you will.
Yeah, no, good word.
Yeah, thank you. But I think for not even just us as Disney fans, I think just people in general, we became creatures of habit, especially now with the way social media is and how technology is and how content is done. People don't even watch full videos anymore. They watch these little shorts and they just swipe, swipe, swipe. So that's almost like how they want the news. It's like, oh, wow, we're getting Monsters, Inc. and we're getting Villains and we're getting Coco and we're getting Encanto. That's great. Perfect. Okay, now what? What's next? It's like, well, give them time to actually make this stuff and then get on to the next stuff. It's like no one takes time to actually like embody something and enjoy it. They always want just like, I want to know. I call it the Veruca Salt syndrome. It's they want it now.
Right.
Exactly. No, 100%. Mark, what do you think about Hen Geek's Village's comment? Do you think we're going to get a solid land with solid Disney villains with a thrilling roller coaster? And do you think the same about Monsters, the new suspended roller coaster?
The answer to the first part is yes. I think we're going to get a solid villains land, and I think we have to do that just so we can be competitive with Epic Universe, right? I think Epic Universe is knocking it out of the park, no pun intended, with their art and their guest experience with all their monsters. So I expect nothing short of spectacular for this for this land. And I have a little bit of park envy because I wish we were getting something like that out here in Anaheim. But so yes, I think there's going to be a as George said, there's a confirmed roller coaster and a confirmed dark ride. And George brought up a key point. We don't know what sort of coaster it's going to be yet, right? What the system is going to be. That's going to be very interesting to me. And is it going to be something along Seven Dwarfs Mine Train side or Big Thunder style? Or what is the age group for this particular ride system? And then the second part, the Monsters, I wasn't aware there was a Monsters land coming. I thought it was just a Monsters Inc. attraction. There's a whole land coming?
There is. That's what we replaced Muppets Courtyard.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just this attraction.
Yeah, so basically with this attraction, this is really the expanded part of what the old Muppets Courtyard is.
Yeah.
They kind of bled out into the back guest parking lot of Hollywood Studios. They kind of blocked that off, and that's the expansion for the roller coaster.
Wow,
and then Muppets Courtyard, where Muppets stood, that's going to be a new show for Monsters, Inc. And then Mama Melrose Restaurant is a restaurante.
Yes.
Is that's going to become Harryhausen's.
Okay. Gotcha.
So Udi, I'm going to ask you the same question. Do you think they're going to build a solid Disney Villains land? And is it going to have a thrilling roller coaster? And on top of that, also with this new coaster for Monsters, I'm going to extend the question a little bit more, kind of going off what Mark was saying. Do you think it would be very irresponsible if they cheaped out on the Disney Villains land when they have their competitor Universal with Epic that built Dark Universe, even though George and a lot of people have told me that it's very small and that's kind of disappointing. But to compete with that, do you think Disney has to go full force with the Disney villains?
Well, I mean, they have to, and I mean, they have to do it right. I again, the competition now is getting ratcheted up, and they cannot afford any misses right now. I think we're all pretty, we can all be pretty honest that they can't really mess anything up. Everything needs to be as close to 100 as it can be day one open. That being said, I think the villains themselves, the rich history and amount of villains that Disney has in its catalog, I mean, it should be one of the easiest things. I mean, honestly, it should be harder to figure out which ones we're not going to put in.
Right.
So really, yeah. I mean, the potential for so many great things, and as far as the villains go, it is there. So I think they will. I going off of Mark, they have to. And yeah, if they don't do that and they try to go cut a corner here or there, people are going to eat their lunch, and rightly so. Rightly so. This is Disneyland and Disney that we're talking about, Disney World. I mean, we're talking about the pinnacle of theme parks, or what was.
Yeah.
So this is all part of it. So yes, I think we will. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be great. I have all my thoughts about what they could do, but I won't go into that. The other part now, going over to Monsters, I mean, that'll be cool. I think the roller coaster, the suspended thing, is awesome. I think it plays great with the theming, with the doors and how they get shuffled in and out. Honestly, I think that's going to be awesome. And I hadn't thought about the question about the age level of that, and now I'm curious, because if they tailor it to a younger crowd, then the level of speed and excitement is going to obviously drop, right?
You mean about the Villains Land one?
Yeah, no, this one, the suspended one.
Oh,
if they're doing anything that's going to, because you were wondering about age, what age you're going to.
Well, I was talking about the Villains Land.
Oh, the Villains Land. Okay, well, I thought
because George,
I thought you were talking about this.
No, yeah. George brought up that they didn't know what the ride system was, and
right.
I'm curious about that too, because and what is it? What age group is it geared towards?
Well, well, I think the dark ride is going to be the one that's going to be atypically is for everybody, right?
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, you name me a dark ride that isn't. But yeah, so I think we will get a roller coaster. We need to have them. We need to have something thrilling. It just all needs to be there. It's not a question of maybe blah blah blah. No, it needs to all happen.
No,
that's actually very true. That's a very good point. When it comes to villains, yeah, I think that's the compromise. I think because we're getting a dark ride with a roller coaster, they can maybe go a little bit more edgier with the roller coaster.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But I didn't even really take the time to even think about Monsters Inc., to be honest with you, because it really is true. You look at this piece of concept art, and the first thing that I'm thinking of, it's a thrilling suspended roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, with one piece of concept art, and as I always say, don't be married to concept art, especially with Disney, is how thrilling or how tame is this going to be? Because that really is true. When you look at the franchise of Monsters Inc., it could possibly gear towards kids. So if that's the case, where it may be a little bit more tamer, and that would be kind of disappointing for me, just because
me too. Yeah, me too.
And it's like, I mean, I get it. You want to try to make it for like as many people as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, but don't like dilute it down where, there's no like sudden drops or like sharp turns or, I don't really think it's going to be where you go upside down, because if you kind of look at now, just with this piece of concept art, there's no harness like coming down. It seems like it's across the waist. So I'm thinking this might be something like, if anyone has been to like Cedar Point, like the Iron Dragon kind of thing, except your feet are dangling, where the Iron Dragon, you're actually like boxed in like a vehicle suspended.
Gotcha. No, 100. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, and one more observation, George. Do you, or even Conductor, or even Udi, do you think this is going to be a low capacity type coaster, or like a higher capacity, like a slow loader or something?
I to be honest with you, from again, and I quote George on this: don't get married to concept art, but from what I'm looking at, just in this picture, I think it's going to be. It might be a little faster on loading, but the capacity is going to be very slim. I'm guessing they probably get maybe 12 people per train on this.
Okay.
Remember they released the loading little video where it actually shows like the vehicles raising up.
Yeah.
So I think that actually gives the count of how many seats per train.
You know what? Let me see if I could pull that up while you guys are.
While you do that, because I think as far as like that concept goes, I think the loading part, I think you're going to do really fast, because from that little video they have 2 loading sides, so you're going to have one vehicle go up, and then on the other side you're going to have another vehicle go up, and then you're going to have 2 more. So they probably could possibly have. I'm guessing maybe like they're probably going to have like 4 trains, but 2 cars are going to be out on the track.
Okay. Gotcha. I was very surprised. I mean, I got to ride Tron a couple years ago, and I was very surprised on how fast that loaded and offloaded. Yeah. And is that 2 rows of 6 on that too, or is it 2 rows of 8? Or
that is 2 rows of. Oh, that's a good question. I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. Anyone in the comments, if you know Tron's number. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, you're right. Like the loading of Tron is really fast. I mean, and then Universal is even more crazier. Like I went on the Incredible Hulk. These team members had to work for like a NASCAR pit crew.
Okay.
Like, they just they get people on, they do the safety check, and then boom, you're gone.
All right, here's the video right here. So this is what George was talking about.
So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to count this at 1, 2.
Wow.
And they got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, they might do 13 for monsters, so they might be 13.
So, but if you time that,
people, so 26 people per train.
And it looks like it's a dual loader too.
Right. Yeah, it's on both sides. So if they're going to have possibly 2 trains out on the track at the same time, you're looking at like 52 people per time, and then they're loading up another 2 trains. That part alone is going to be thrilling enough. The fact that they're going to raise you to go in through the door vault.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen it. Have you seen this?
No. Hey, no. Did you just see that? There's 3. There's 3 of them.
So there's 3. So okay, so they're going to have 3 cars out at once.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's but here's another one coming in.
Yeah.
So they could possibly have 6 trains altogether.
Oh, easily. Yeah,
because even Remy D is saying this is going to be a high capacity coaster. They're going to have to. They have to have multiple trains, because this is going to be more backed up than a bowel movement.
You know what? To be honest with you guys, though, I'm really honestly hoping that the track is long enough where they could justify this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the building from the concept art looks humongous just from the concept art, but I'm really hoping the track is at least long enough to where they could justify having 3 load stations in this queue. I'm really hoping.
And it's almost like, even though you're side by side, it's like you're on your individual seat. Like you're not like actually sitting with someone together.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if as far as height wise, I wonder if you're going to have to be 52 inches.
Probably. I would only have to guess. You know, that's what I'm curious about. Lene Ward says, I want to know what the operations have to do to coordinate the loading for monsters. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to have, because if you look way up here, like where it takes off, it looks like there's a dual like takeoff. So I wonder if they'll do one at a time. So they'll get everyone loaded up and then they'll go one by one. That's what I'm wondering.
I have a question. Does anybody know how big of a footprint they talking about for this attraction?
They gave us a little model at D23 after they made the announcement. They had a model at inside the convention center. It's like a rough kind of like a rough model. It doesn't actually give like explicit detail, but it shows like the lining of like the vehicle of like where it goes, like around the whole building.
Let me see if I could pull it up. Monsters Inc.
It almost kind of resembled to me like a you know, like a conveyor belt, like for laundry, that it kind of like zigzags through. Like that's what it looked like to me.
Well, the reason I ask, because I'm thinking, depending on the size of the track and the footprint, I think will give us a good idea of what kind of attraction we're going to be looking at. Because I don't see a really fast, high-speed attraction if the footprint is small. And the building is, I mean, a show building is going to be a show building. A lot of show buildings are big. We all know that. There's a lot of hidden machinery. They're obviously going to do animatronics. They're going to do the full, I mean, I'm expecting it to be a full story-driven type thing. But that's why I'm curious if we're going to go in, we're going to go outside. I mean, that's why I just have a lot of questions, because I think we can start pulling, kind of pulling clues from what we've got to kind of figure out about what we're looking at as far as like overall speed and
yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, you could clearly see how big this building is, and then again, like Udi was talking about, just the scale model of it. That's kind of what it looks like right here. If you're looking at it from the side.
So basically, what they do is they kind of give you like a rough kind of like of how it looks. So the part on the left, that's the queue, so to speak, where you enter. This is the loading, the middle part, and then the big square is the actual attraction itself.
And it looks crazy. My question to it is, how fast do you think it's going to go? You think about what, maybe in 50, 60?
And that's what I'm trying to get at, because I honestly have no clue. With what we have, I can see it going really fast or really not fast.
I don't think it's going to go 50 or 60, because even Space Mountain only goes 25.
Yeah,
true.
So now Rock and Roller Coaster goes 0 to 60, but I mean that ride was made for specific thrill riders. I don't know if this ride is going to be. I'm thinking this may be a little bit faster than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but I feel like that's going to be the demographic to get people, because really, if you look at Hollywood Studios, a lot of it is kind of thrill rides. I mean, you have Tower of Terror, you have Rock and Roller Coaster. There wasn't a whole lot going on until they started bringing like Toy Story, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which don't even get me started on that, because talking about that ride in there means I have to talk about the Great Movie Ride. And they got the Great Movie Ride. So like, I'm still very bitter about that. But I just don't know with Monsters Inc. if they're willing to do a full-fledged like thrill ride.
Yeah.
So these are some of the pictures. I think there was a video. Let me see if I could look at that video real quick.
Yeah, bring it.
Of course. Okay. Okay, you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is how big that damn thing's going to be. It's humongous.
And that's just the building for the coaster, because the rest of it is going to be coming like south of where this big dirt. So this is just the foundation for the coaster itself. However, I'm very curious to see what they're going to do, because they literally split like right into the parking lot. I could see keeping the park to the left, but you have these like other cars, unless this is going to be for like cast members. But I think that's like an odd kind of thing to have cars parking literally like right beside a show building.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a humongous footprint, and recent images and video from Bio Reconstruct actually shows that they've already laid the foundation for the coaster, so they're full steam ahead. So all that dirt is actually concrete.
And really quick, Mark McHugh, I do believe I've heard that John Goodman and Billy Crystal are reprising their roles as Mike and Solly. My concern is, I don't know if anyone has seen the Monsters Inc. Animation that they did during the Super Bowl. Like,
I think I saw that.
I'm hoping that they don't use that animation, because that animation looked horrible compared to.
It was not good. It was so not good. Oh my gosh. I don't know what they were thinking when they did that, but my God. And then I wanted to point this out again. George sent me this. This is also from Attractions magazine. Look at this. So when we all get a little irritated that the Disneyland Resort is moving as slow as a turtle with construction, November, right in the midst of the holidays, it went from dirt to that structure for the Encanto attraction. Yeah.
Yeah, and I spoke to a cast member, a Walt Disney World cast member, and she said because they haven't been getting really bad weather, she said construction is like way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, but so Udi is in the construction world, and he had mentioned that, I'm not speaking for you, Udi, but I know you said this before, when they're in this framing part, they can get a lot of that done pretty fast, right?
Yep. A lot of that stuff will be prefabricated. The pieces will be there. Your cross members, your posts, everything. It's literally, it gets pre-planned wherever the foundry is that they're getting from, or whoever's making wherever they're getting those from, will basically have it there, and they'll go like, this is piece A5674, and that goes with A5775, and then they can literally just find them, sort them, and start going bang, 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 bang. And the other part of it too is, and this is what I always give a tip of the cap to iron guys and iron workers, y'all a different breed. Like, you guys, I mean, they are some crazy guys that do iron work. And this is, at this point, it's a lot of this. And so, yeah, they can move. And if they're motivated, they can move. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. It's not the fact that you don't have the means to do it or the parts to do it. It's like, yeah, getting that motivation. Say, like, because I know Disney likes to like break financials up per, quarter, and everything. Yeah. And I think like when you do it like that, it's where, I mean, I get it. You don't have, you can't drain the bank account like all at once, but I think they can kind of pick it up on the speed. And Brian had mentioned, is this aiming for 2027 or 2028? For both Tropical Americas and Monsters Inc. as of right now, they're looking, well, at least with Tropical Americas, they were looking at 2027. And then Monsters Inc. could possibly still be on the back end of 27 into 28.
That was my thought.
Oh, okay.
That was my thought.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's going to be a crazy year for George and I. Because George and I so George is trying to plan it. He's keeping his ears to the ground, quite literally, trying to figure out if there's going to be any whispers or murmurs about when Tropical Americas is going to open. Hopefully Monsters is going to open around the same time, because what he's trying to plan for me and him and his wife Abby is to go out there. stay on Walt Disney World property for a week and actually stay at what was it, George, in Animal Kingdom? What was the
Animal Kingdom Lodge?
Oh,
okay, Animal Kingdom Lodge.
love that place.
And we're gonna hit Tropical Americas, Monsters, and then literally stay on property for a week, then go on a Disney cruise for the Disney Treasure,
Wow.
and then probably be back in 28 or 29 to go experience Cars Lands and Villains. So I got 5 years ahead of me, man.
That sounds. I'm glad you brought that. Well, first off, congratulations, and I'm very jealous and happy for you. But and I'm curious how that's all going to work out, and I want to hear your reviews. But I was going to ask George and Conductor about what is the time frame for what Piston Peak and Villains Land, and are they going to be open at the same time, sort of thing?
Yeah, see, and that's what I was trying to configure. I have a feeling that they're all going to be kind of like opening up around the same time, but I feel like they're going to be gapped. So obviously, I think Tropical Americas is going to open first and foremost. We're aiming for 2027. Then on the back end of 27 into early 28, I'm thinking is going to be Monsters. Then on the second part of 2028, I'm thinking it's going to be Piston Peak, the Cars area. And then on the tail end, 2029, 2030, that's where it'll close it off for Villains Land. And that is the 10-year that Josh D'Amaro promised us that, well, not the 10-year, excuse me, the 5-year of the first part of the 10-year, because they said there's a 10-year commitment to spending money and invest money into the parks. So when it hits 2030, that's the first 5 years. So all these projects right now, even including Coco and Avatar, which we'll probably get in 2087, that they're part of the first 5 years of the 10-year. So after that 2030, there's going to be another whole wave of projects that's part of their 10-year commitment.
Unbelievable. All right, gentlemen. So since we're kind of on the subject of Walt Disney World, I'm going to play a video from Disney Drew Dude. I'm hoping to have him on the channel very soon. I'm trying to communicate with him and get him on, because he's like all of us. He has that type of mindset, so I can't wait to have him on. But as I'm playing this, at any point, if you want me to pause it, let me know, and we'll talk about whatever he's talking about at the moment.
Okay.
Join me for a full guide to Walt Disney World in 2026. What's up, YouTube? Drew here. Welcome to my first video of the new year. And if you guys aren't subscribed, please subscribe, because by the end of this year, I want to reach at least 25,000 subscribers here on YouTube. You all can make that dream a reality. So please subscribe if you haven't already. With that being said, let's get to it. I'm going to go in chronological order throughout the year to make this as easy as possible to follow for you, as we have a lot to cover today. Starting in January, a highly anticipated change is Cinderella Castle's new color palette. This is starting probably right after I published this video, as Disney is going to be draining the moats around Cinderella Castle, bringing in all of the cranes and equipment to allow for the painting. And then later this month, we're actually going to see that painting begin. Now, if you are concerned about getting a photo with the castle this year, or, friends and family visiting and they're concerned, the good news is that all of the cranes are going to be lowered into the moats by noon every single day while the work is ongoing. So if you want a picture with Cinderella Castle with nothing around it, no scaffolding and no scrim and no cranes, that's what's happening. And in my opinion, this is a very good thing, because in the afternoon and the evenings, you will be able to get that photo with the castle. Now, Disney has said that the repainting will be completed later this year in 2026, and my hope is that it's done before October 1st, the 55th anniversary of Walt Disney World. I think it could be done even well before that, honestly, but it will take longer than the original repainting back we saw in 2020, because during the pandemic, the parks were closed and they could paint all day, no issues whatsoever. Whereas now, with the painting limited to that morning window, it's going to take a little bit longer. But Magic Kingdom, January, kicking off with a bang, and I look forward to covering all the Cinderella Castle stuff for you guys, because, like I said, people are excited for it, going back to those classic colors before this transformation wraps up in the years ahead. Moving over to Disney's Animal Kingdom, extinction is imminent, as February 1st is the final day to ride a dinosaur, take a trip to the Cretaceous period, and visit Dinoland USA as a whole. Beginning on February 2nd, Dinoland will be permanently closed as the final phase of construction begins on the Tropical Americas land. The Tropical Americas, we've talked about it many times before, a carousel, a new play area for kids, a village, Pueblo Esperanza, the Village of Hope, Encanto attraction, the first ever Encanto attraction, and the reimagining of Dinosaur into Indiana Jones. That entire land will be opening in 2027, less than 2 years from now. So a lot of work going to happen very quickly, but the good news is that they are moving quickly. The Encanto show building is
so that's currently what we're looking at right now. Like Udi said, when they're putting up the steel beams and stuff, that could go quick, but it's the next phase of construction that's going to kind of, stay steady but not go extremely quick, if that makes sense.
I'm very curious to see, like, from what we're looking at right now to when we actually get down there in March.
Oh, it's going to look so much more developed.
What that progress is going to look like from now till March. I'm very curious to see, because if we could end up starting to see actually like panels going up around the structure itself, and we could start maybe seeing some painting going on, then that really is true that they are moving very fast. But if we get down there in March and we're still seeing this, where it's like the skeletal structure, then they are moving, but not as fast as we thought they were moving.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, George. If the weather persists like this and it's not rain and this horrible weather that Florida loves to have, I guarantee you it's going to be covered by the time we're down there. At least a good portion of it.
I can agree, because honestly, like, Florida is just getting out of the hurricane season. So they had a really mild season, in my opinion. So that's probably why they took the opportunity to get all this done. So if it's already going to be out of hurricane season, then yeah, I could see them moving like full steam ahead.
Okay, a couple questions about this.
Sure.
Real quick, Udi, at this phase, would they have already done like all the like plumbing and underground stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just a frame, and they haven't done any electrical yet because they
no.
Okay, gotcha.
No, typically what they'll do is they will set their runs. So where they're going to run their plumbing, where they're going to run their wiring, they will either have that already set with a preform or have it marked out for when they're actually going to go in and do that to be cut in. So at this point, all your underground, you'll have basically your stuff coming out. And that's usually about it until everything gets going. Obviously, without seeing plans, I can't get any further, but that's basically where you're at right now.
Okay.
So,
and then, no, you go ahead, Conductor.
No, I was just gonna feed off kind of what Udi was saying. More than likely, and again, I'm not a construction person. That's why I'm glad we have Udi on. Is they're probably going to have, if I'm not mistaken, Udi, like conduit pipes sticking out of the ground in certain sections for that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Go ahead, Mark.
And I have to apologize, because Udi and I typically focus on Disneyland and DCA.
Oh, sure.
So this Encanto ride, is it a boat ride, or is it what is this?
We honestly really don't know yet, to be honest.
I haven't heard.
That's one thing. Now, again, that's speculation that they may announce at D23, because they just had one piece of concept art, and what it looked like to me, because it seemed like that the vehicles were going straight, but then they turned toward the show scene. I'm assuming that it's going to be sort of something like Haunted Mansion style, where it's like the Doom Buggy. So it may be like a Mystic Manor kind of.
Oh, okay.
Kind of,
and that would fit.
Fun.
That would fit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
100%. All right, I'm going to continue saying.
I have to say, I'm actually like really looking forward to Encanto. I mean, I love Indiana Jones, I really do, but sure. I'm more prone to Indiana Jones being out here. Like, Indiana Jones is my favorite ride at Disneyland, and it's like to utilize the same IP with the same ride vehicle, but just on a different coast and a different park. I get it; it's going to be a different storyline and everything, but like, I wanted to see something a little bit different, a little bit more. So that's why I'm actually more excited for Encanto.
Mhm.
And Mr. Brian 13 thinks it's going to be an Omni Mover attraction. So like Haunted Mansion, like George was saying.
Mhm.
Nice.
And it would fit. It would totally fit that.
Oh, 100%.
Mhm.
Gentlemen, I'm going to play it some more. Same rules apply. You want me to pause it? Just let me know.
Already big. It's very prominent in the park, and you can actually see that walking across the bridge from Discovery Island to Dino Land right now. So I believe that this land will be the most classic, warm, and welcoming project that Disney has done since New Fantasyland. I've even said that before, but we are 1 month out from all of that work kicking into high gear on the Tropical Americas. In February, over at Epcot, Frozen Ever After is getting its full circle moment as the first Frozen attraction is finally getting the updated audio animatronics figures with the fully articulated sculpted faces. The final day to ride Frozen with the digital-faced animatronics is January 25th. Beginning on January 26th, the attraction is going to be temporarily closed for a short refurbishment, and it's going to reopen at some point in February with these new animatronics. I gotta say, I never expected this to happen, so I will always vouch for quality of life updates to attractions that are already popular. Frozen Ever After already has hour-long waits every day. Disney doesn't need to spend a penny on it, but the fact that they can and they are, I am very happy about, so I'll be covering that in February over at Epcot for all of you. March 1st is the final day to ride Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Beginning on March 2nd, the full transformation into Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets is going to begin. Now, if you're riding the attraction before March 2nd, the pre-show is already gone. I just wanted to mention that again, as this work is being carried out in phases to keep the coaster itself open as long as possible, as the biggest change with the Muppets version of the ride is the pre-show. So the Imagineers got to work on that already and are working on it at the time of me publishing this video. But if you want to take one more super stretch limo trip with Aerosmith, March 1st is the final day. Over at Magic Kingdom, we have two major reopenings in the spring, though as of now, we don't have an exact opening date for both Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. I expect the reopening dates to come sooner than later, because when Disney says spring, that's either March or April, as beginning around Memorial Day, that's when Disney's summer season kicks off, and they will likely give us a 2-month heads up for those reopening dates. So I'm kind of on high alert waiting for those dates at this point. But in my opinion, a perfect scenario is if we get Buzz and Big Thunder on the same day, because Magic Kingdom really needs that capacity right now. The park is suffering with them being down, on top of the permanent closures of Tom Sawyer Island, the Rivers of America, and the Liberty Bell Riverboat. So if everything goes to plan, I would hope that Disney reopens them on the same day for a fun push to say, hey, we've got two big attractions open again, come check them out, especially because Big Thunder is getting the biggest refurbishment in the attraction's history, a top to bottom refurbishment, and Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. This is a bigger reimagining than most people.
My one concern with Big Thunder is, and I'm glad that it's getting a revamp. I'm glad it's getting love. Yeah. You know, it's not going anywhere, obviously, because they put so much time and effort and money into this. But when it shows like that Crystal Cavern kind of look, and, you know, they're going to add like more storyline to it, I hope they actually give us an opportunity where we could actually visualize it, like on the ride, because it's such a fast-paced ride. Like, I hope it's not like a 2-second glimpse of something, and then we bypass and it's like, oh, well, okay, so they added all that kind of like for nothing, where we can't even really look at it. So I hope that, and I think they said it's for the climb, the first hill in the cavern. So I hope that's what they're meaning, so that way we could actually like look at the new work that they've done.
By far, because that's something that I've always kind of thought about when an attraction goes down for a significant amount of time and they add new elements to the attraction. That's something as a theme park enthusiast I like to see. I agree with George. I don't want any theme park, whether it's Disney, Universal, or any of these other theme parks to add a scene like that to a current lovable, high speed, high capacity attraction, and it's like over in a blink of an eye. You know, you kind of want to see that, so you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This is why they had it closed for a year and a quarter. This makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
Realize. And also something that's cool is that we just recently got our first look at Buddy the Robot, that brand new scene at the beginning of the attraction where it's kind of a target practice moment, testing these new handheld blasters before we go out on the mission to defeat the evil Emperor Zurg. So follow me on my other socials if you aren't already. When those opening dates are announced sooner than later, I'll be posting those there, as well as probably covering it here on the channel. Moving on to the summer, there is a lot happening across the entire resort, but specifically at Hollywood Studios. The one concrete date we have as of now is May 22nd. That's when the Mandalorian and Grogu mission is going to debut on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run in Galaxy's Edge. Again, I've said before with some of these updates that they're bigger than anyone is realizing, and this is another one where Smuggler's Run is going to feel like a new ride. Not only is it awesome to have the Mandalorian and Grogu as their fan favorite beloved characters, but connecting to this $1.5 billion investment with Disney and Epic Games, the creator of Fortnite, that is going to be connected to this mission as well as Unreal Engine 5 that is powering this mission. So from a technological standpoint, it's going to feel a lot smoother and more immersive, and again, like a new attraction, a new experience, not only from a character standpoint, but from a technological standpoint. And then later this year, the Disney Digital Universe connected to Fortnite is expected to launch, and it's already been confirmed twice that this mission is going to impact your experience in-game and in the park. They're going to be connected vice versa. So we don't know exactly how, as Disney's really keeping everything under wraps with this Disney and Fortnite thing, but rightfully so. This is very, very big. And I will say again, if you guys haven't subscribed, later this month, I will have the biggest YouTube video I've ever posted about this Disney times Epic Games thing. So that video, if you guys ever going to watch anything that I've ever created,
can you pause it right there?
Sure. That video. But
so let me go with the first part that I agree with him that with the Real Engine powering everything. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna go as far as to say it's gonna feel like a whole new ride.
Sure.
But I think it's gonna be a vast improvement, and I've been talking about that for a while. They could have done something like this a while ago. The bigger comment I have is for the Fortnite thing. They haven't really talked about Fortnite. That has been one of those things that I am gonna sit here and I'm gonna do I'll believe it when I see it when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Same.
Because I guess it's one thing to keep it hold it close to the chest. If you want to keep it a secret, that's fine. But I don't see how they're going to incorporate it. And anything that they've kind of played with incorporating this and that usually hasn't really panned out very well.
No.
In nice one, I mean, because we can go back. I mean, the one that always sticks out in my head the most is going to be Galaxy's Edge. How it's supposed to be this thing we're supposed to be living the whole thing, and it's all supposed to be thing, and then the pad and the data pad and all that kind of stuff. None of it worked. So no. I will hope that whatever they have planned with Fortnite actually comes off. But I am excited for the new missions, and I am excited for Mando Grogu coming on both coasts. Because I think that attraction's been needing that for a while now.
Agreed. No, I agree with you with that. If you really look at a lot of the things Disney has invested with technology, whether it's gaming or whether it's like an upgrade to the parks, it's like I remember they invested like $1.1 billion with the Magic Band Plus, and it's like that didn't go anywhere. Nope. They were trying to do that Play Pavilion at Epcot, which that was essentially going to be like the hands-on thing that they're now attempting to do with Epic Games. So that fell through. Now they did this crazy amount for like the AI that it's like, okay, well, how far is that going to go? It's like all this money that they're investing in And it's like, you're right. It's not really necessarily going anywhere. And it's even like with the R&D, like for Imagineering, it's like they come up with these great ideas. They showcase them at these events, and then you never see them again.
Never see them again. Yep.
Right.
No, 100%. And that's the same thing I mentioned about when we saw like the little excuse me, the little droids in Galaxy's Edge. You know, we had them for a little bit of time, and then they disappeared. And then it's going to be like the same thing with other animatronics they've had in the parks. And then we see this new Olaf character. How long is that going to last? So it's a lot of promises, but in all reality, it's like temporary promises. So it's like almost trying to incite you to get excited, but then when they pull it, you're all like, "What the hell just happened? Why'd you do that?"
Yes, I'm right there with Udi. I think honestly, like I'll believe it when I see it, like when it's actually concrete, like in the parks or on platforms, and we actually have it. Then I agree. But actually, also Brian makes a good point too with the Simpsons Fortnite. That was a huge success and it broke records. See, so like exactly. So when Disney actually does something and they release it, it is a success. But it's like until then, they do these mass purchases and then it just sits dormant.
No, absolutely.
But I do agree with Brian. Like as far as like The Simpsons, I didn't personally play it, but I've heard like it was a smash success.
Absolutely. I just want to catch up on some comments. Mark McHugh says, why did Disneyland Haunted Mansion close down for a year for a new animatronic? George, maybe you can answer that real quick.
That's actually a very good question. Yeah, I don't know why that they actually closed it down for a whole year, to be honest with you, just to install one animatronic. I thought that was kind of
stupid
myself.
Yeah. No,
I don't know if they were already going to be doing maintenance, like scheduled maintenance.
Sure.
So they probably thought, well, why don't we just close down the whole ride? And while we're installing the animatronic, we can do some upkeep along, or not just the Haunted Mansion, downkeep. They actually say they actually purposely add cobwebs and dust and all that stuff. But that would be the only thing that I could think of.
Yeah, that's insanity. And then Chris West was saying about Thunder Mountain out in Walt Disney World. It reminds him of the Cavern mine ride at Knott's. It does for me.
Yep, I agree.
Mr. Brian 13 says, like, if they could do a Mando and Grogu overlay, why didn't they do an Avatar one? So he's probably meaning for Flight of Passage.
Absolutely.
Why couldn't they do a Fire and Ash overlay?
You know what? To the same question, why couldn't they have done it when Way of Water came out? I actually have that same question. Is I don't know why they didn't capitalize for how these are billion-dollar films, and it could put new life into Flight of Passage than just doing one storyline.
Yeah.
Give us some scenes from Way of Water. Give us some scenes from Fire and Ash. Like,
exactly.
I don't know why that they couldn't. Because I think, I don't know if it was Brian or someone else had mentioned onto that same topic, like just how they did with Tron, with Tron Ares.
Yeah.
You know, they did the lighting package, they did the soundtrack, and not to knock it or anything, but the movie bombed. You know, so it's like, then why wouldn't you utilize a franchise that is successful?
Exactly.
Well, exactly. I will make this point, and that when it comes to Avatar, I keep on coming back to the question: who's really into it? And this is where it falls into it. Like Tron has nostalgia. You go back to the original. There was still a lot of love for that. Avatar, a lot of people go see it in the theater. After that, what's that?
Yeah, I think for me with Avatar, I mean, I do agree with you. Like when it comes to the movies, like, yeah, there's no like core fandom, like how there is like for Star Wars or Harry Potter
or even Tron. Even Tron being small, but Tron,
even Tron. Yeah, there are you know, groupies that like literally they go back to like the original 1982 movie. But yeah, when it comes to Avatar, I feel like, but where they could have capitalized was where it lacks after it's out of theaters. So they could have moved that into the theme park, because Avatar in the parks is very popular. Yeah, I think honestly, I've talked to a lot of people where they love Pandora and Animal Kingdom, but they haven't seen a single Avatar movie. They don't know what it's about, but they love it in the park. So for me, I'm just thinking, like, why not? Like, why not add it into the parks and let it breathe new life? But I do agree to the fact of what they did with Tron. I wish I could have been down there for when they did have that overlay, because it looked really cool. And I'm glad they did that. Even if, and I'm always to that way of saying, even if a movie does bomb at the box office, or if the numbers don't really show, I wish Disney would get into the habit of still utilizing their IP. If you look at all the classic Fantasyland dark rides, Pinocchio, Peter Pan, I mean, Snow White was a huge hit during that time. I mean, like, back then, that was like the Star Wars of the 1930s. But but when it comes to like Peter Pan and Pinocchio and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, I mean, who really knows if you ask a kid what The Wind in the Willows is?
Right.
But yet it's in the parks. It's like, utilize your IP.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And that's what I mean. It's just, they're very selective. But I think personally, for me, you know, with the whole overlay aspect, like we saw, like George was mentioning with Tron out in Magic Kingdom, and then you know, having the whole meet and greet characters for Fantastic Four and our Tomorrowland. You know, if it's something possible they could do without too much headache, I would say just go for it. Like, for example, what a great way it would have been to kind of convert Flight of Passage temporarily from The Way of Water to Fire and Ash to kind of promote the movie. And then, like they did with Tron Ares, even though, like Remy D says, the movie bombed, but who cares? I agree with George. I wish I was there looking at the videos, seeing the canopy all red and all that. Oh my gosh. And then the soundtrack.
I have a feeling if the movie did much better, it would have stayed longer. And that's what I mean. It's like Disney allowed the box office to dictate how long something would stay in the parks, and they should like get away from that.
Exactly.
And that mentality is why we're getting an Avatar experience over here on the West Coast. It's exactly that mentality.
Maybe an experience, Judy. It could be a land.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm kind of laughing at it because I'm like,
yeah,
fans do not want this in DCA, and I kind of feel, Udi, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I think you're one of them that don't want it in DCA. So if they build anything less than the land, I could tell you Udi and so many others are going to be very, very, very upset.
Yep.
So enough with this experience, destination, whatever the hell you want to call it, media.
That worries me, because when I went back to an earlier article when they first announced Avatar at Animal Kingdom, they said land, like right off the bat. Like, why hasn't anyone in any of the articles that Disney has released, not one person said that this was a land? They kept on calling it an experience. Now it moved from experience to destination. It's almost like Disney is trying to use keywords to convince us that even though it's not going to be a full-fledged land, it's not going to be a full land, but don't worry about it. It's a destination. You know, it's like, I don't like, that's what, because when you really go, I don't know how many times I've walked through Hollywoodland or like the backlot area. And yes, if you do take out all those, you know, show buildings and what have you, you clear that out. Yeah, it's going to be an extensive amount of land, but then you have the monorail going straight through that area. That's going to block, like, where they're going to have to put rock or something to block the track. So that's going to cut off a lot of your pathway. And then when you look at the concept art for Disneyland Forward with the Eastern Gateway, and you look on the left-hand side where it's what I call Pandora's ass.
Yes.
You see the back part of it. It doesn't fully run all the way into the bus load unload area. Said they were going to. So how big is this thing really going to be? And actually, Udi, let me ask you, because now that I know that you're a construction guy, like, okay, now I have questions.
Okay.
If you look at the perimeter of that backlot area,
Okay,
and as
I'm
a
gonna
person like with construction, is from what the concept art shows of Avatar, is that even feasible of like what they're showing that can possibly even happen?
No. We actually talked about that. God, Mark, when we talked about it a while ago. We brought the concept art. We talked about that, and looking at it from a point of view perspective, even a scale issue. There's no way that thing fits in there anywhere near what the concept art shows. It doesn't fit, and if they stick with it, then it's all going to be really small. So exactly.
Yeah, right here.
So that right there, the back part is, if you guys all recall, if you remember the concept art, that's on the far reaches, the backdrop of the whole entire experience, right? And it has the water feature and everything in front, all the people. There's no way that,
because that's just the back of the show building. That's right there. So that means the front part of the show building, not to mention the facade. And again, they're going to have to put extra facade to hide the monorail track.
Yep.
And then you have that big, gigantic water area that's supposed to hold these boats that are going to be part of the e-ticket attraction. I'm looking at like the backlot, and I'm thinking they would have to literally tear out the whole entire Hollywood land area.
Yep.
And it would probably have to literally bleed right into Avengers Campus.
Yep. You're correct. You're correct.
Have we talked about the monorail going somewhere else? Because
no, we had that discussion about that too, Mark. Like they would have to cover it, or they'd have to basically reroute it a little bit, or turn it, or completely make it disappear somehow within the facade.
Yeah, and I actually asked Bricky this question when I saw him last at the parks, and he said, and he even did a video on this as well, because he went in depth. He said literally the way the monorail moves, it would almost be impossible to reroute it, to reconnect it where it goes through the Grand Cali. So the only other way, like you guys are saying, is to cover it with that rock, where you kind of see that same archway going through San Francisco on the back part, and going through that Cars Land on the backside, and you see that big giant rock archway you walk through. That's that same rock work archway they're going to try to incorporate, if they're going to do it that way, to cover the track.
Or I have an even better idea. How about put it in the freaking Simba lot?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand, because there's rumors around that this project is delayed. You know, as of right now, Disney didn't confirm nor deny. There's just rumblings around. They said that there's some delay with it.
Oh, jeez.
But this is what could possibly happen, when I truly, honestly, really feel like they really still don't know what they're doing with this project.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you think I rant? Listen to this guy. He's a whole nother animal.
I really do. I really honestly believe that when Iger got on that shareholders call and he said, oh yeah, Avatar's coming to the Disneyland Resort, it was his way of getting the shareholders and the people back into his good graces after he abandoned ship, put Chapek in charge. Everything went into a blunder. He came back for the first shareholders meeting. After he got off the phone, he's like, okay, tomorrow, now we got to have Avatar at Disneyland. Let's make it happen. And Tomorrow's probably shaking his head like, what are you talking about? Like, because out of all the projects, look at all the projects all around, even to Walt Disney World, Tropical Americas, Piston Peak, Villains, Monsters Inc., Coco, even though it kind of delayed, everything is in motion. This is the only project that we still don't really know anything about.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I think I made the comment a little bit ago that if we don't get any concrete, like legit date, time, whatever, because I forgot what we talked about. Somebody was trying to say, well, they're delaying, the whole project is now delayed or getting delayed because they don't want to close Monsters Inc. And I remember thinking, and I made the comment, it's a ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous reason. The only thing that makes sense is that they don't know what they're doing. They don't have an idea. They're literally going, how are we going to pull this off? So now they're going to start flooding the zone with, well, this is going on or that is going on, because I lay a lot of the fault about what's going on in the company at Iger's feet. I think justified. Okay. And I think this is one of the biggest things is they don't know what they're doing with this one. They have no clue. Again, like you were saying, we know we got Coco. We see they're starting to rip that up. Avengers, they said, bam, we're moving. Everything that's going on over there in Florida, boom, they're moving. This one, we don't have the gateway going. We don't have any. I mean, and I know Conductors. I've heard probably multiple rants on this subject alone from him, but that's another thing. They're integrated, but they don't need to be integrated. So
yeah,
they don't. I have exactly think the exact same way. They don't know what they're doing yet. They do not know what they're doing yet.
And if they have to really literally like shoehorn it into that backlot area,
makes it horrible.
How is that even going to aesthetically look to everything?
Exactly.
I can't.
Exactly.
It's going to look horrible because, again, when you look at Google Maps, okay,
yeah,
for a prime example, and we all saw. Here's the concept art. Okay, so you have this big, ugly ass show building, and then it takes up even more room because now you have to have an access road for Disneyland and construction vehicles to go behind the show building, so you lose even more room.
Yeah, they need to have there's got to be road also back there for emergency vehicles as well. So that's not going to go anywhere. That has to be there.
I still wonder, honestly, if it really did get delayed, I wonder if Disney could then make that announcement at D23 and say, hey, don't worry, folks, you're still going to get Avatar, but we've been thinking about it, and we think we're going to give like a different placement. All they're doing really with this project is they're trying to buy themselves time.
I think that's what they're doing.
I agree. I agree with that.
I think that's what they're, and I'm George. I'm glad you brought that up because I think at D23, I think if they're smart, they would announce that because I told Orange Grove 55, and I think I might have had Mark and Udi on when I was talking about this, but I said because he had his doubts about putting in the Simba parking lot, but I'm like, think about it for a second. You could do exactly what they're doing for the Monsters suspended roller coaster, corn a huge section of that parking lot off and start ripping up the asphalt and start building it. It wouldn't interrupt park operations. It might interrupt parking situations for a little while, but on the other hand, they can get a jump start on the Avatar land, and I'm going to call it land even though Disney refuses to, and they don't even have to pay me to say that. And they could start building the land, and as they're building Coco, they could start preparing to build another sky bridge to go over Disneyland Drive to the Simba parking lot to connect both with DCA. That way, when it does come time to open Avatar, first of all, they'll be way ahead of schedule. Second of all, they'll have the bridge constructed. And third of all, they'll be ahead of the game. By doing this, I couldn't agree more with George. They're buying themselves time.
And as I said, and actually Chris West brought it up once again, I am a huge, I will speak it like the gospel. The Zootopia should have been put into Hollywoodland.
Absolutely.
It's a great transition right off of,
yep. Mm-hmm.
Buena Vista Street.
Mm-hmm.
You already have the facades to make it look like you can make it like a neighboring town. You can add audio animatronics or even performers with animal puppets like they did over at home. What was it, Shanghai? And then you don't have to do maybe the exact ride, that's over in Shanghai, but maybe do something themed to Zootopia 2. I mean, literally Zootopia 2 became the biggest Disney animated movie of all time. Like it shattered like how many records. So it's like, and then you could keep the monorail. Like just keep the monorail.
Yeah.
You don't even have,
yeah. You don't have to do anything with it.
It's urban. You have like a cityscape kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know. That's just
you got me thinking now.
Uh-oh.
It would be great if in D23 they, like you were kind of saying, George, like, hey, we've been thinking we're gonna redo this, and we're gonna put Zootopia there. And if you think about it as well, you could make the argument now, going with the mentality of Bob Iger. Hey, wait. Zootopia, huge moneymaker, right? Second one in the franchise. Hey, that one actually touches more people than Avatar will. I think the air is perfect for them to be like, and a lot of people would be like, okay, cool. I would take that deal every day and twice on Sundays if he said that. We're gonna put Zootopia there, and then we're gonna put it over there.
And I think from what you just said, that would be a lesser blow to the fandom. That if they were to say, you know what, we're going to put Avatar on the back burner, it's delayed, but don't worry, Zootopia is coming in. I think honestly, people would be like, Avatar what? Avatar who?
Absolutely.
That could literally, you could literally put the path to making that whole Avatar thing just kind of float away, which I would be fine with as well. But I think Zootopia 2 would be a better fit, like you're saying. It's a better fit. They would probably spend less money in redoing everything. I mean, oh man.
Jared Bush is already working on sketches for Zootopia 3.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh, go Magic 8 Ball.
I know, right? Tell me about it.
Magic, like, who do you got to pray to? Who do you got to pay? I mean, that would be better.
Right.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. I'm gonna play this video real quick since we're on Disneyland at the moment, and then we'll jump back to Drew's video. This is early concept art from years ago of what the Eastern Gateway project is or was at the time. And with this project, I don't know how many of you've seen this, but it includes the bus load and unload area. It includes also a Uber and Lyft pickup and drop off area, and then I think it includes a security area where you walk through before you go over the Sky Bridge of Harbor. So I'm not gonna go ahead.
Sorry. Before you play that, Conductor, just really quick to answer Brian's comment. Brian, when you say it's too small area for Zootopia, but the thing is with Zootopia, then you could cover the whole entire area of Hollywoodland. I would literally turn the whole entire Hollywoodland into nothing but Zootopia and just
all of it.
All of it.
Yep.
100%. So I'm not playing the music, but so this was early concept art, and what I liked about this was, the fact that you had the bus load and unload area relocated. You had the Uber and Lyft drop off and pickup area. I just hate that facade. I hope they maybe do like a video board with like advertisement or something, like a video advertisement, because that thing looks god awful.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I won't say what I want to say, but it's horrible with the color scheme. But the area alone, when you look at this green space, it kind of reminds me of what you look at Disneyland Paris, that green space before you walk into the main gates. It's very like there's like a whole park and everything. I'm like, this would be a perfect opportunity to put Starbucks in this location. Look at that. Look at how big that is. You could put a Starbucks in that area.
So just real quick, where is Disneyland in relation to this?
So Disneyland, you can see Space Mountain off in the distance up here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I see. Okay.
Yeah. So the only problem, and Orange Go 55, he pointed this out, and I think George, you might point it out as well at one point or another, was if you have security here, which is great, don't get me wrong, but then when you go over the Sky Bridge and you get to the Disneyland side of the Esplanade from Harbor, you know, how is this going to work with the businesses? Because now they have, I'm sure they came up with a new agreement where they have to build some type of a path so people can still access the businesses on Harbor without going through security.
100%.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, especially for someone like me, that when I do my little staycations and I stay off of Harbor, am I able to still walk from the hotel to the Disneyland archway without having to get up on that ramp? Do I have to literally walk backwards to go forwards?
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I think that's what they're going to do. Go ahead, Udi. Sorry.
Well, you guys got to remember, whenever you do a bridge, I would not be surprised in that kind of urban environment that you're gonna have more egresses on that bridge.
Sure.
So even though you're looking at the concept art where you have this big, long, overarching bridge, which we've all seen them, but that's a little bit different because you're basically, let's put it this way, I wouldn't be surprised if they had in the plans other places to kind of go up on that bridge.
Yeah.
So you can still access down and then come back up. I mean, a ramp, a spiral ramp, anything like that, probably a spiral type ramp, or along those lines, because I just feel like it would be too much for that. And the businesses, definitely, we've talked about it before, where the business did have a big problem. Like, you're completely cutting us off from a huge part of our lifeline, you know?
Now, again, Udi, let me ask you this, because again, now that I know that you're the construction guy, so when it comes to them actually building the bridge that's going to go over Harbor, that's going to then bleed into like the resort itself with the entranceway, how do they go about doing that? Does that like disrupt normal day traffic operations?
It will eventually, but no, they can build a big chunk of it. The pedestals and everything like that, they're obviously going to have to reroute a lane or two. Without seeing any hard formation, they would have to. Then they can build the pedestals on either side of the road and build those up, and which they'll probably do. Most bridge construction goes like this, and then they start this, and then they meet in the middle. So that's what's going to happen. They'll start doing this, and I don't know. At some point, there will be disruption of probably a major kind, but a good chunk of it, no, not too much. I mean, maybe a lane, but not like a major shutdown where both ends are gonna be going into one lane. That kind of major thing.
Okay.
At least not for a long time.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because we kind of saw it, and I can actually play it again. But we're looking at the overlook of this area, and we kind of saw the boost to the right. It looks like all of it, like all the front is all security, but what if they kept the security areas to the right of this from this image, kept it to the right for the bridge, but to the left they have another path leading down to the street level of Harbor so people can access that. And then, unfortunately, George, this is the only way I see it. They would have to use that path, access the businesses, and then when they want to go to Disney, they can either walk across the street to Harbor, which if that's the case, when you look at this concept art and you look up in this area here, they could have another security area here for people that are walking across Harbor, or they can have that, and they can have this, so people that are let's say right on Harbor and that don't want to walk across the street and they're like, oh my God, look at that line, because I'm sure you could see it across the way. They'll just walk back up the ramp here and go through security that way and go over the Sky Bridge over Harbor.
This is why I think in the long run, as part of Disneyland Forward, there's going to be more Disney hotels in the future. Whether it's going to be another hotel over by the Simba lot next to, or by Pixar Place Hotel, whatever it's called. And then also a new hotel over at the Toy Story lot where the third gate's going to go. Yes, I am going there. I'm sorry. There's going to be a third gate that's going into the Toy Story lot. Sorry. That's just how it is. But the main reason why I say that more hotels, because the way that it actually seems like Disney's doing it, it's almost like they want to try to box their guests in, like how they did with Walt Disney World, where you stay in the Disney bubble. It's almost like they're trying to encourage people, hey, there's going to be a struggle that if you're just going to come as a local to go back and forth to get into Disneyland. I mean, it's already a little bit of a pain in the butt to go through the parking structures, go on the trams, go through security and all that. So it's almost like they're going to try to entice people that if they stay, hey, we're going to put more hotels, they're going to try to encourage people to stay on property.
Yes. I think you're spot on, but this is why I always counter with it. Whenever Disney Corp tries to make Disneyland that, they're going against the core of that park, which is it's a locals park. So I don't ever see them getting away with doing that. Yeah, they're gonna push and nudge, but at the end of the day, they know who feeds that area for the most part. It's going to be the people who come in every day, the locals that come in every day, and they can't. I don't think they can push them out. So I agree with you, George. They're going to make it more difficult, but at the end of the day, there's no way they're going to ever convince the local populace down there to be, I'm going to go in the bubble and stay in the bubble. There's just too many people who.
Do you think? Okay, so I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. Not necessarily for like the locals. I mean more for for like. Do you think it's more enticement to actually get like out of state travelers or? Like a lot of state travelers would come, or even Californians up in the north, because really Californians up in the north, they don't get like the benefit for Southern California, that when you come down and you travel, that they'll entice you to say, rather than stay like off property, stay in the bubble. Kind of.
Being that Mark and I are both from Northern California, that's where we are. For me, it doesn't entice me at all, not even a little bit. And most of the people that I know up in the area and that are in our family, in our LTV family, it's like no, they will do it once in a blue moon just to be like, hey, I did it one time. But no, we're way too savvy, we're way too knowledgeable. We also know that while that would be cool, we don't need that. We're going for the park. We're not in there to buy the whole resort thing. We're going to Disneyland and DCA. So,
do you think Disneyland is going to try to get to that point with
yes, they've been trying for a very long time.
Yes,
and my point is they're going to fail, and they have been failing, and they will continue to fail. It doesn't work.
I think also too, it also goes by also the pricing of the hotels, because a lot of Disneyland's hotels, you need to like give up an organ just to be able to afford to stay there.
Right. Yep.
No, 100%. No, so it's going to be really interesting how they're going to put this together, because it's I don't know, it's going to be a little of a cluster F, and Udi, and again, I give a big shout out to Udi for being our construction guy on this, because I don't even know what I'm talking about, so I'm glad he's on here. But I can only imagine when they're starting to build the pylons and they have to close one lane of the street per wherever the project's at. It's going to be a logistical.
And then Chris West actually said, and I think that's probably the route that they will go, more DVC.
Yeah, no, I saw that comment too, and I have they're going to definitely push for that. Yep.
That's why we lost the Blue Sky Cellar, and that pisses me off, because it's like something like that. It's something they could bring back, obviously, at DCA, which seems to be the main focus of the construction for the Disneyland Resort. But my whole thing is find an empty spot, and you could probably do it in the animation building where they had the little library, the Beauty and Beast library. Since they closed that off, and I think they either announced it for DVC members or it was going to be some type of cast member training area or whatever the hell they decide to do with it. In the meantime, hey, turn that into the Blue Sky Cellar. Give us the models that you're going to show at D23, and put that in there and let people walk in there and say, wow, this is where DCA is going to be at in the next 5 years.
You know why they don't do that anymore? Because at the time when they had that Blue Sky Cellar, they were for sure of what the hell was going into the park.
Yeah, no kidding. Thank you. My God,
he's not wrong.
You're not wrong.
No, because now it's like, oh, let me close my eyes and point, and then that's what we're going to do here.
And then before you go back to Disney World, I just have one more comment. When we were talking about Zootopia, from Kalani D, says that makes sense with Zootopia, so Disney won't do that. LOL.
Yeah. Well, of course.
But the almighty dollar.
No kidding. No kidding. Gentlemen, same thing applies. Any point you want me to pause it, let me know.
Our first little teaser is just a few months out, May 22nd at Hollywood Studios. All right, so this is where I'm going to put some facts with speculation for a few of these next things happening in the summer, as I think there's smoke where there's fire. Like I mentioned, May 22nd is the confirmed date we have for that update coming to Millennium Falcon over in Galaxy's Edge, but I think that we're going to have a lot more happening on May 22nd. Stick with me here. There's a lot to talk about, so I'm going to try to explain this in the easiest way possible. But Disney has already confirmed that Cool Kid Summer is returning this year. And in my opinion, if Disney really wants people to spend money and come to the parks with their kids and have these family experiences, just saying that Cool Kid Summer is back at the parks with things we had last year, I don't think that's enough. So I think that they're going to advertise Cool Kid Summer alongside a few of these other things happening, and that is Soarin' Across America at Epcot, which is confirmed to debut by Memorial Day, Bluey and Bingo coming to Conservation Station at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and the Walt Disney Studios Courtyard at Hollywood Studios, including the new Disney Junior show, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live, which they're actually bringing over from California Adventure because it's gotten such high guest satisfaction rankings. So again, when I'm looking at all of this, right, I'm also looking at to last year when Cool Kid Summer kicked off. We had 2 big new offerings at Hollywood Studios.
I just want to answer the super chat again. Thank you for the love and support. This is from theme park and things. They said, Conductor, you know where they should put the models in Launch Bay and Inventions Building. Anything expansion or stuff like that could go there. You know what's funny about that? Someone actually posted, because they were a DVC member, and when you walk in there, literally you're walking on the abandoned show floor. I forgot what was there. It was something to do with like the future, like it had like
Innovations.
So you had Innovations, but when this person walked in there, like you had the model for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge still in there. You had all these kind of like big, like life-size stormtrooper mannequins with the full costume, everything just sitting there.
They gave us something dedicated to WDI and actually put it in Downtown Disney.
Yes.
Like you could just have like a full, I mean, they have the room now. I mean, put up a building. Maybe actually that's what they could do with that, the Star Wars building.
Yeah. Reinforced cafe building. Yeah.
Turn that whole facility into WDI, where we have models, where we have concept art, everything that we get from D23, it just gets put in there.
I would love that so much.
Oh, same here. So I wouldn't be opposed to that, because Star Wars Launch Bay is just another big vacant building doing nothing. Besides hosting a little tiny ass.
That's basically the entire Tomorrowland at this point.
Pretty much. Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
We had The Little Mermaid and Disney villain shows. So what's to say that you couldn't take that same strategy this year with another show, the Disney Junior show, alongside The Mandalorian and Grogu, and Soarin' at Epcot, and Bluey and Bingo at Animal Kingdom. I just feel like from a marketing perspective, they have plenty of things right here that they could easily get ready by Memorial Day, to the fact that they're already casting for that Disney Junior show. And I know for a fact that they've already started recording commercial and promotional content. So the wheels are already turning. It's just a matter of when will those things be confirmed with the actual dates. I expect that to happen by the end of March at the absolute latest. So stay tuned for that one. Now, I want to circle back to something I just said about the Walt Disney Studios courtyard, as in late summer, that's when the Magic of Disney Animation is going to open in the former Star Wars Launch Bay building. But Disney has already confirmed that the courtyard is going to open before the Magic of Disney Animation opens, so that you can actually walk to the Disney Junior show. When it comes to the courtyard itself, there's not a lot of work that they have to do to get that finished. It's just some trees, some benches, some plants. They can get that done in a few months from now, easily. The work that takes longer is the actual attraction, the Magic of Disney Animation. But we're going to be able to walk around the courtyard and see that Disney Junior show before the attraction opens later on. So that's something that, again, I haven't seen anyone mention, but it's right here in front of our eyes. So just little things to add on to my speculation for Cool Kids Summer. But I think May 22nd is going to be a big day at Walt Disney World. And the final big thing in the summer is the opening of Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets at Hollywood Studios. Yes, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith is closing on March 1st, and it's reopening in the summer as Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets. But that's largely because the attraction is staying the same at its core. We have to get to a concert, and a lot of the props that we have now are staying just with a Muppets twist. Even to where the guitar in the courtyard is staying, but it has a new psychedelic look inspired by the Muppets and the Electric Mayhem. The ride vehicles, they're still a big limo. They just have a new look inspired by the Muppets and the Electric Mayhem. Like I mentioned earlier, the pre-show is the biggest change here, and that's personally what I'm looking forward to the most, because we're getting new animatronics. The first ever animatronic of Scooter and the penguins that we know and love from Muppet Vision are coming back, but this time as audio engineers, and we're going to see on digital form in the corners on screens, as well as the Electric Mayhem as pre-recorded media in the back, as we got to make it to their concert. So that's going to be a quick turnaround time, but it will be a fun one, finally having the Muppets back at Hollywood Studios. And there's two more things expected to happen this year. We just don't have a season of when they're going to happen. Just 2026 is expected. The first one is actually confirmed to be opening this year. Again, just no time frame of when. And that's Level 99, a new game room experience coming to the former NBA Experience building over at Disney Springs. More than 50 challenges throughout. This is going to be very popular among friends and family, as long as those ticket prices are affordable and there's actually a reason to come back. I think that's the biggest thing that struggled with the NBA Experience, is once you do it once, why go back? But I'm hoping that Level 99 will be a success, in that these games are actually fun to where people want to go and experience it. And the other thing that I'm speculating on is over at Magic Kingdom, and that's the previously...
My thing with that, and I do hope it is successful, but the problem when you do something like that is, if I'm spending my money to travel all the way to Walt Disney World, I'm not going there to do like an escape room kind of gaming thing. I don't want to waste my time and money on something that I could just do locally.
Agreed.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of those facilities. Even the ESPN Zone, experience did too. It's like, no, I don't want to go to Walt Disney World to shoot hoops. Like, I could just go to a local like basketball court and do that. Like, that's I think the issue, that when Disney, it's a great concept, but I feel like when you put it in the intermix of like the ultimate like vacation spot, like, people don't want to do that.
No, and the kind of defend the ESPN Zone a little bit. A lot of times it was a great place. Once you're done with the parks for the day, and you want to get something to eat, maybe watch a game or something, or go meet up with friends, the ESPN zone was amazing to hang out at. You had all the TVs, the sports. Once in a while, they actually did live broadcasts from the ESPN zone building in downtown Disney. So to kind of defend ESPN zone in a way, I did like that aspect of it, but I do agree with George. I don't want to pay 20 something dollars the park to go shoot hoops and play arcade games when I could do that outside the resort. So I get it.
Do you guys think that in time that's what's going to happen with Splitsville? Like, do you think like eventually, or do you think that's popular enough that it kind of holds its own?
I'm going to let you guys answer that.
That's good. That's a great question. I don't ever see a lot of people bowling there. I see a lot of people going in there for cocktails and dinner and stuff, but
sure,
bowling, I don't. I mean, I don't know. That's a great question.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a tad bit of surprise it's still there.
Oh
yeah,
a little bit. I mean, I went in. I think it's great. It's a very cool place to hang out. But
I
don't know. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised it's still there.
Well, okay. Let me ask you guys this before I play the rest of this. Do you think they should have kept the House of Blues there, but retrofitted it where it would have been a bigger floor plan where you could have had more stand room only and seating for concerts?
I say yes, because after the fact they got rid of House of Blues at Downtown Disney, and it's now on Garden Walk.
Yeah.
Anytime Abby and I go to Garden Walk, which it's very short, amount of time, but we usually go over there for like our movie theater, like if we're in the area for our out of theater reactions.
Sure.
The line for the House of Blues that's like the only thing in there that has a pulse at Garden Walk is the House of Blues. And it's like, I feel like Disney lost that opportunity.
Oh, for sure.
They got rid of the popular thing that everybody loved.
Yeah.
No, 100%. So I think they made a humongous, and I mean humongous, mistake on getting rid of it. I think the House of Blues was a great option, again, to kind of attract people to downtown Disney. You can't tell me you wouldn't want to go see a live band at the House of Blues, have some cocktails, hang out with some friends, maybe do some Disney shopping beforehand.
Love that.
You can't tell me you didn't like that. That was freaking awesome. It's kind of like what we had at Universal City Walk out here in Anaheim and Hollywood, where back in the day we used to have nightclubs. We had a dinner show where you basically had a show and a dinner, and we lost.
I mean, I may be in the minority here, but I actually agree with theme park and things. I actually also agree getting rid of their AMC theater. That also was a bad decision. And I get it that Garden Walk also had a movie theater, but I think everyone went to Disney who was in the area. They went to that movie theater over Garden Walk.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, because if you honestly think about it, that AMC could have been such a money maker. Because think about it, they've done Disney premieres on Main Street, like Pirates of the Caribbean. Some of the
I wish I could have been to that premiere. That premiere looked freaking awesome when they actually held it in Disneyland Park.
Yeah.
Where they put it on the Rivers of America. Like that was like
crazy.
Oh yeah. But think about it. If we still had the movie theater, they could do red carpet events right there.
Again, I feel like they knocked out the important things and they left the things that like
no one cares about.
No one really cares about. Now, in the long run, maybe Disney did that because there's a movie theater over in Garden Walk. The House of Blues is now over in Garden Walk. I still think in time, pretty soon, I think Disney's going to end up owning Garden Walk.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think they're going to use Garden Walk possibly for a hotel location, and it would not surprise me one damn bit if they built something like the Contemporary, and they had the monorail track going right through it to enter Toy Story, which would be the third gate. It would not shock me one damn bit.
That's pretty smart. That's pretty
Yeah.
smart.
And don't you think that, I mean, I know you talked about putting like a WDI like show center where the Star Wars Outpost is, but I'd always thought that that would be great for like a Jock Lindsay's, indie theme bar or restaurant there, because you sort of already have the architecture is already sort of leaning towards that theme, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true, because they really wouldn't have to really touch any of the exterior.
No, I mean, I don't know. That'd be so like unique to downtown Disney that might be like an attraction that people would just want to come and experience. I don't know, maybe. Who knows?
Oh no, I agree with you, Mark. That would be freaking awesome to have something like that. I just don't think right now the best utilized for that building is putting a Star Wars gift shop. I think it's just kind of over and done with, because they're only using like not even 20% of that building foot space.
No, the only time I actually went into that building was to get the collectible 70th coins. That was it.
Yeah,
ridiculous, man. It's crazy to me that it's happening like that. So I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to either one. Either putting a WDI building or experience, or doing that, or putting an Indiana Jones themed bar and restaurant.
I'd be happy with both, because I hadn't even thought about what George said about the WDI thing. I would go to that and like look at models and check things out. I would love that. Absolutely love that.
Oh, you imagine, because how big that building is, they have all the models and stuff. Well, now you got my mind working now. You really do, because now you could probably with the square foot of that building, you could probably put like a little stage on the bottom floor, and then on the second floor you could put all the scale models, so you can actually go in there and probably listen into a little conference from a WDI person. They can hold little mini events in there talking about what's coming to the resort.
Oh yeah,
that'd be sick. That'd be awesome. But I'm going to play the rest of this, and I got one little clip, and then we'll head out for the night.
Okay.
All right, here we go. If it'll
announced updates to Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress with the Walt Disney animatronic and the changes to the attraction itself. As of now, Disney has not said when that's going to be happening, but it only makes sense the Carousel of Progress will close for that refurbishment by the end of this year. As like I mentioned earlier, Walt Disney World is celebrating its 55th anniversary, so I think it would make sense to take down Carousel of Progress as a way to say, hey, we are investing into the classics, celebrating this resort's legacy. I think that'd be a really easy way for Disney to.
Sorry, can you pause that really quick?
Stage this as a connection to the resort's anniversary.
So yeah, I do agree, but Disney, I'm talking to you one-on-one here, because I know you listen. I know you listen. Do not close the Carousel of Progress.
Oh no.
Before March 17th.
Oh.
After that, close the Carousel of Progress, because I'm all for. I want to see this revamp. I want to see the Walt Disney audio animatronic in there. I can't wait for it. But under any circumstances, the Carousel of Progress does not go down before March 17th.
Oh, by far. Udi, I know you're having a little bit of issue there. I'm glad you're back. I wanted to ask you just real quick.
Yep.
We were talking about downtown Disney and how George was mentioning for the Rainforest Cafe area, either turning that into a WDI experience, or like Mark was mentioning, a Indiana Jones themed bar and restaurant. What do you think about either one of those?
I was listening to George talk about the WDI, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. And then that's when I don't know what happened with my iPad, but we got to figure it out. But Mark has brought that up before about the Indiana Jones themed restaurant, and that's the one that I would. You say pick one, I'm going there.
Oh yeah,
It would be
100%.
awesome. It would be awesome.
I think we
Oh,
could have both.
oh, I think so.
I think it'd draw more. It'd be a revenue generator, and actually make use of that building.
Yeah, because I was mentioning to George, what you could do is, because it's a 2-story building, you can have the first floor as kind of like a almost like a little mini conference area that could probably fit maybe about 100 people or so, have a little stage and whatnot, and you can have WDI Imagineers come in and talk about what they're doing for the resort, and do like little mini meetups with WDI Imagineers, and then on the second floor you can have all the scale models and whatnot, or like you guys are saying, you can have an Indiana Jones themed restaurant and bar, because the building on the outside's already themed for it.
Totally.
So you
Yeah,
can do
I
that.
actually say, honestly, I say do both. I say honestly,
Yep.
have a building be for like the WDI, and then as Mark had suggested, the Star Wars Outpost, you already have the aesthetics on the outside of the building. So literally, they don't really. It already kind of has that like indie adventurous kind of feel to it, and it seems like that's the route that Disney is going, especially like with the Beacon Barrel down at Magic Kingdom for Pirates of the Caribbean. Even on the cruise ships, they have like these themed bars of the Jungle Cruise and the Haunted Mansion Parlor. So it's like, why wouldn't Disney capitalize on that? Because I mean, that is a longer term investment, I think. And then if it's themed to Indiana Jones, I mean, come on. It's
Exactly. And we were talking, Udi, about the AMC theater, because we said that Disney, like Main Street, has held multiple red carpet events like Pirates and others, and even used Tom Sawyer's Island for that. What if they kept the AMC theater and had red carpet events for Disney movies right in downtown Disney? Or you think that would have been too chaos?
No, yeah, I don't. I think those kind of things for big movies lend themselves to the park, and only because of how the whole vibe and everything is going. We can talk to one of our co-hosts, Jess, who was at one of those debuts. Yes, so and she will tell you how it was in there. Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, I think the AMC theater. I mean, it was, yeah, it can gone. No, yeah, no, nothing. I'm not sad about any of that going away. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of 50-50. Again, it's kind of hard for the theater industry right now, because just streaming's where it's at. Most people just want to stay home and stream the movie from their home, the comfort of their home, and not go out. So I get it why they ripped it out, but it wouldn't have been a cool concept if they retrofitted.
The only thing that I'll give a little bit of pushback on that, which I do agree with you. I mean, the theater industry is completely like scrambling for something. But the one thing that I think that it would have benefited if Disney kept it an AMC on their property, every single time I go into the Cineplex at Universal's City Walk, it is always packed. And I feel like because it's already in the midst of people going to the theme park, going to have dinner, it's like, hey, well, why don't we catch a movie here? When I went to the Back to the Future 40th anniversary, we went actually on Halloween night. We actually saw it up at Universal. It was a packed theater. Like, it was like super packed. And when we went to Jaws 50th anniversary, it was super packed. Anytime I see a movie at Universal, there's hardly ever an empty seat. Where I go to my local theater, and it's dead.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, if Disney kind of lost that opportunity, where even though that the theater chain is kind of doom and gloom right now, if it would have benefited sort of like how it works with Universal.
Well, and theme park and things said Disney is all about Plus. They could have done something with Disney Plus and AMC Theater. They could have. Yeah.
Well, look what they did with Stranger Things, the final episode. That I swear, I jumped on. There was not one seat available for like all the 5 o'clock shows. And I know Stranger Things, like you can't put Stranger Things up against a Jonas Brothers Christmas. I get it, but like, but I mean, like if they had something that was popular enough, like Stranger Things, like maybe if they did, like the premiere of anything really, like anything that's going to be coming out of Disney Plus that it would drive hype, they could maybe open up like an episode and have it in the theater, or the finale to something in the theater.
Well, let me add the caveat to that. We have now how many years of Disney Plus content? Give me one thing outside of The Mandalorian that,
and that's why I struggled to even name you want something.
And mind you, I've actually sat in Lucasfilm's in Lucasfilm their theater and watched a few things a few times. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I've seen a couple.
Udi, I thought Andor was brilliant.
Yeah, but as great as Andor was, would you have driven to the theater to catch an episode? I would have, but a good majority of people probably not. That's the thing.
True.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I see the comment about, and I see the idea behind Disney Plus, but I would go, the core issue with that is Disney Plus itself.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
No, 100%. No, 100%. Because a lot of people were very criticized about Disney Plus, but also when George Lucas sold the rights to Star Wars to Disney, and then Disney started making films and now TV series, it's kind of like 50-50 in the air. Some people like it, some people don't. It's like that 50-50, split. It's not one is better than the other. It just...
I think you're being generous with 50-50, but I'll let that go.
Oh, really? What would you give it?
Right now, current state of Star Wars with Disney, it's about a 75-25 that people would be like, no.
Yeah.
Dude, Acolyte did a lot of damage.
Don't even mention the A word. Okay. Don't even mention the A word.
Oh,
I watched like 2.3 sequends of the first.
Here we go, Udi. Here we go.
Here we go.
You rattle the cage now.
Yeah, I'll just put a point on it. Not you guys. I have another podcast that we haven't done in a while because it's Star Wars based. It's called the Mando Show, and and I have that on with my brother, another good friend of mine who's actually a cosplayer. He's part of the 501st and the Mando Mercs. And then another friend of ours who is a big he has like multiple podcasts, yada yada, and we would get together and talk. And my brother is one of the type of guys who's very, very, very like he wants more Star Wars until the Acolyte, and he had a very I never thought I would have heard my brother use that word in describing the Star Wars property till the very end when we reviewed the last episode. Oh. Yeah, he dropped an F-bomb on that one. Gosh. He's like, F the Acolyte. And I was like, whoa, well, there you go. There you go. But
really,
anyway,
really quick, Conductor, I know because you're trying to get things wrapped up. I do apologize. But I wanted to ask you because Drew did bring up Smuggler's Run and we didn't really like touch upon it like too much. How do you guys feel about Smuggler's Run and especially getting like the revamped with Mandalorian and Grogu? For me, I'll just give like a brief thing. I think it needs it. It needed it from day one. I'm still not a fan of actually working on an attraction, so to speak. Just sit back and enjoy it. Like I don't want to have to worry about pulling levers or pressing buttons. But if I had to, I'm glad that they're giving the engineers kind of like a job to say, okay, you get to pick the location of where you go. You're going to have multiple locations. It's going to have Mando and Grogu. And I love how they're tying it into the opening with the Mando and Grogu movie. I think that's a great like cross promotion thing. But what say you guys? Like, what's your thought process on Smuggler's Run in general and with the revamp?
So in general, I'm going to say I don't like working either, because I do it 5 days of work at Costco, and that's enough for me. So I don't want to go on an attraction and work. That's my first problem. The second problem I have is, for this overlay, I hope they have multiple missions, and it's not just one mission, and I hope it doesn't stay more than a year. Because the problem we have right now with Smuggler's Run is it's the same missions, and it's been around way too long, and it's kind of put a sour taste in many people's mouths about going on it. That's why I'm advocating that Galaxy's Edge needs a third attraction, or needs something new in general, because literally the only thing I personally, the only thing I think that's holding Galaxy's Edge together, that people even flock to that area of the park, is Rise of the Resistance.
Sure.
I'm being honest with you.
Now I will say, I think once they make this change, they can't go back to the original mission. Because I think, honestly, it's going to be so much where you get to pick your mission and everything, or you pick your location and everything, and then you go back to just the same old. And I do hope that they update the effects. Like, every time I look at it, it kind of reminds me like of a video game, like out of the screen kind of thing. Like, I hope that they update the graphics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Oh, 100%. But this last video is from the Premium 24. This happened at where was this, George? At Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios.
Okay. This is the Indiana Jones stunt show. George wants to take me to this. I can't wait to see it. But there was a accident that happened. So let's take a look, and I'll get your guys' opinion before we head off. And I'm just going to mute this because of copyright, but why they're playing the show, I'm sure you guys have seen this already, what happened, but once the ball comes out, I want to get your guys' opinion on this, because this is pretty scary what wound up happening here. Let me see. Here it comes. Right there we go. So it looks like the ball got, the ball got shut. Look at this guy, the cast member. Shout outs to him. He got knocked.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he got knocked to the ground. It was not good.
Oh, but I've not seen this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me kind of go back.
So yeah, for context on the cast member that actually, or the team member that works on the show that actually got knocked over, he was actually taken to the hospital. He is in stable condition. He ended up getting, I think, I forget, like several stitches.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because apparently that this boulder ball, even though it bounces, it weighs 400 pounds.
Yeah, no, it's heavy.
Oh.
So my main question is,
I've not seen this.
I mean, after 36 years, I mean, this has never happened before. So I'm wondering, like, it almost looked like it was like on the track, and then it like bumped into the you see the out where like the wall, the doorway is. It's almost, it bumped into that and it knocked it off course.
Yep.
But my question is, I've never really even considered, because I've seen them like roll this ball back. Like, I never would have thought this thing weighed 400 pounds.
What? Oh no, that has weight.
Yeah, this is pretty scary.
But I give the cast member kudos to the fact of that he put himself in front of it, that it actually could have rolled into the audience.
Oh, totally.
And there could have been an even bigger tragedy.
No, 100%. And I want to ask you guys this question, because me and George kind of talked about this for a brief second. Because with Tropical Americas and them closing Dinosaur to make way for Indiana Jones, is there any possibility that, you know, because right now they took the ball away, why it's under investigation, what exactly happened. So the show is continuing, but without the Boulder effect. Could this be a pretext for them to possibly close this show and relocate it to Animal Kingdom and put it in the tropical Americas area where the Indiana Jones attraction is going to be built?
No.
Do they have room for it there?
George, you would know best more than anybody.
As if they actually wanted to clear this area out, I mean, it's a substantial amount of room, because even where you see this set piece, this set actually moves and it goes all the way further back when they do the outdoor scenes and everything. And then plus they even have the backstage area beyond that. So, I mean, if they really cleared this whole area, it's a significant amount of room. I don't necessarily know if they would do that right now, but I mean, I think whether this incident happened or not, which, as I said, it's a horrible accident. I'm just glad that the cast member was okay.
Yeah. Holy.
But I think in time, like, obviously this was a staple show that opened with the park in 1989. I think it's a bit outdated for its time anyway. So I think in time, Disney's all about replacing things. So I think in time they are going to replace this. I just don't think it's going to be right now. And if they do replace it, I'm not 100% sure what it would actually be. Actually, I've even thought about this again, even before the incident, kind of going back to Zootopia. If they weren't going to do it in DCA, I say put Zootopia here.
Oh, yeah.
But I do agree with Abby. If they're going to keep the show, they have to bring the Boulder back, because it's a significant part of the show. And if you're not going to bring the Boulder back, it's like you might as well not have the show at all anyway.
Yeah, agreed.
No, 100%. And Theme Park and Things says give that cast member a medal. Oh, more than a medal.
Because automatically that cast member had to know what he was walking into. Into that ball. You know, so he knew probably he was going to go down. So the fact of that he actually jumped in front of the audience for it, it's.
Yeah, and when they showed that side angle, I didn't realize how close he was to that steel beam, that guardrail. I mean, he could have been killed.
Yeah,
like right there. When it look how close he is to that bar.
Yeah, let me rewind it here.
Holy man!
I wonder if they're going to have to put in not like an entire net, but just like a big enough net that if the ball would happen to roll off, it would just like defer from the audience.
That's what they'll do.
Yeah,
they'll put a barrier between the audience and that, because I will tell you what, have either any of you guys been to a live motor sports event?
Yes.
Like motocross and stuff.
Well, like NASCAR or monster truck or anything like that. So you think about the fencing on those vehicles flying at a couple 100 miles an hour holds that stuff. So the way I look at this is like they'll probably figure out what happened. They'll make the corrections, and I don't know if OSHA is going to come in there and go like, well, now you guys got to do X, Y, Z. They probably will. And I wouldn't be surprised if the fix to this is going to be whatever caused that to happen, right? And then put a barrier. They're probably going to putting out some form of barrier between the audience and the show itself, which I've been to stunt shows before and it kind of sucks, but safety is paramount. Yeah, and I don't see the show going anywhere. It's popular. If it's as popular as it sounds, I don't see it going anywhere. I don't think something like this, where thankfully the cast member is going to be okay and no one gets hurt, that it's just they're going to look at it, figure it out, and then put some bigger safety protocols in place, and that's it. And you go on with the show.
No, I couldn't agree more with Udi, because I personally, for me, I know for a fact, working in customer service, in the customer service industry, and Udi being in construction, you know, when stuff like this happens, like a work related accident, and especially in front of witnesses like this, I hate to say it, OSHA is good for safety, but they can ruin a lot of things too.
They can. They
if
really
you don't
can.
comply.
Mhm.
So, and again, if they decide to get rid of this show, if they ever did, I'm telling you right now, this is like George says, this opened with MGM Studios. So I seriously doubt they would build another show to this grand scale for you know these days present. There's no way.
Yeah, an actual like show on this caliber, no, I don't think they would ever do. As I said, do I think eventually this show will go in time? Yes, but not because of this reason. They'll just, as Udi said, like they'll put up the proper, you know, protocols, you know, once they do the investigation and what have you, and the show will go on. I would give it, if I had to guess, because of how Walt Disney World does, they like to rotate their projects throughout the parks. So being that it would go Animal Kingdom and then Hollywood Studios and then Magic Kingdom, it would probably then go back to Epcot and then it would do Animal. So I would say probably this show probably has another good, like between 5 to 10 years if they wanted to keep it.
Okay.
Oh, by far. But yeah, it's pretty scary because like Mark said, you know, being that close, and Udi, or I think Mark, you said, or Udi, you might have said it. Luckily, you know, hitting that ground, luckily he didn't crack his head open and, you know, die, because he could have, and being that close to that short wall. But I agree with Udi. You know, obviously they're going to build more barriers, which might ruin the experience a little bit. But again, it's either you comply with OSHA, and that's what they want.
And that's what people also have to understand too, that whatever changes happen, it's out of Disney's hands.
Yeah.
Like whatever OSHA had, they have to comply. So
yep, you have to comply.
Because if not, adios, bye-bye.
Yep, red tag, and you're never having it again. Yep.
Exactly. But gentlemen, it's been an amazing Conductor Sunday live stream, my first one in 2026. And what a great way to kick it off with Holo Gelato and the Leaving Today podcast with Mark and Udi. Always a great time having you gentlemen on. Can't wait to have you guys back.
Absolutely.
But George, I'm going to start with you, my friend. And before you announce your where you could find yourself on social media, do you want to let everybody know watching what we have planned for January the 15th on your channel that you want to do a first ever?
Actually, yes, absolutely. Yeah, because now that we're actually kicking off January for the new year of 2026, Conductor and I have been planning this for some time. We were in talks, but we really didn't know when to do it. And we thought, well, I think we should do it like once the new year kicks in. So we were trying to figure out when to do it. But on January 15th, Conductor and I will be doing a collab live with Theme Park Conductor YouTube channel and Holo Gelato, and we're going to be doing our very first marathon live. So he and I literally blocked out the whole entire day, and we are literally going to run from morning to night an entire live. And basically, it's anything holds bar, any topics, anything. It could be theme park related, it could be anything. So we encourage and invite everyone to join us at any point of time. There's no right or wrong way that you would miss the live, because it's going to be going on all day. So more information will be coming out very soon. Conductor and I just have to go over through just the timing logistics of when we actually want to start the live, but it will be early, and then it'll run into the evening on January 15th. So definitely follow both channels, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified as to when that live will be up and ready. And it's going to be a good time, because honestly, Conductor and I, we usually go like 4.5 hours anyway.
Wow.
So, like that's our minimum. So so that's actually what made me even think of doing something like that. It's like one of these times we just have to do a marathon live and just go all day.
That's funny.
Yeah. But in any case, Conductor, thank you so much for having me on. It's always a great time talking with you. And Mark and Udi, so glad I was able to come on and you guys as well. I'm going to have you guys on Hollow Gelato sometime.
Sure, anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime.
But in any case, if anyone would like to find me, you can find me on YouTube and Instagram on Hollow Gelato, where Abby and I cover all things theme parks, Disney, Universal, Knott's Berry Farm, cruise line, even outside of the parks. We got a lot of content coming out, a lot of interesting content coming out for the year of 2026. So again, definitely keep an eye on Hollow Gelato.
Awesome.
Absolutely. George, thank you for being on Conductor Sunday Livestream for 2026, our first ever. And Udi, I'm going to go to you, sir. Thank you so very much for being on tonight's live stream. Again, it's my first live stream of 2026. And man, I think I have a new purpose for you, Udi, because you know construction in and out, and I love picking your brain about these projects. So, thank you for coming on. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Well, I want to thank you for having both me and Mark on, and for your first of the year. That's awesome. George, great meeting you. Appreciate it. Great talking to you. You can find me on my Instagram, which is Haxgolie, HAXGOALIE. And then you can find me on the Leaving Today podcast as well, with my good friend Mark right there.
Absolutely. Udi, thank you for joining.
Yeah,
Mark,
absolutely.
It was such an awesome time having you on. And again, I encourage you guys, as soon as you know some dates, when you guys are going to come down to the Disneyland Resort, please let me know, because I would love to hang out with you both when that happens. But where can everybody find you on social media?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me at leavingtodaypodcast.com and Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast. And again, I want to say thank you for inviting us to be on your show. Udi and I don't get invited out very often because we can't behave ourselves. I'm just joking.
Mark, you're fine. I don't know. I feel like it's me.
It's all good.
Oh, you guys would do very well then on Hollow Gelato.
But George, I've been watching you for as long as you've been on with OG55. I've always watched your takes, and it's an honor to be able to talk to you in person. This is great.
Thank
and
you so much.
Of course, and Conductor's an excellent guy. And it
He's
just
all right.
No, he is awesome. And so like I said, we've been doing this for 10 years, and every time we have a guest on our show, I'm always happy to know that we're part of this Disney community, because everyone we've met has been so genuine and giving, and they're just really nice people. They want to share knowledge, and there's no competition whatsoever. It's just like, I'm going to learn from Conductor. I want to learn from George. I want to learn from Udi about stuff. And not only do you guys know stuff, but you're just really good people that I would absolutely love to go and hang out at the park with, and ride some rides, get dinner, get drinks, and all of the above. And so I look forward to being able to do that with you guys sometime.
Yep.
No, absolutely.
Thank you so much. And again, appreciate it.
Of course.
No, absolutely. And I cannot wait to see Mark and Udi on Hollow Gelato. It's going to be a great time. I want to thank all you guys. I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining tonight, and our two people with the super chats. We got Hidden Geek Village for $10 and Theme Park and Things for $4.99 super chat. Thank you both for supporting Theme Park Conductor. Also, like I stated right at the beginning, I do have a members only video reviewing the Fallout collab with Jones Soda. You can buy the whole pack at Costco if it's still available. It has 3 different flavors with very heavily themed bottles. The drinks are awesome. It comes with some little collectibles, but that's going to be a members only video. And if you'd like to join my members only content, it's down in the description or the title. You can join that and support Theme Park Conductor. But again, thank you, everybody. I'm your host, Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on YouTube and Blue Sky at Theme Park Conductor, on Instagram at theme_park. _conductor on X at Theme Conductor, TikTok at Theme Park Conductor 1, and every Sunday at 5 or 7 p.m. for Conductor Sunday Livestream with amazing guests like Hollow Gelato, Udi, and Mark from Leaving Today's Podcast, and so many others as we break down Disney, Universal news. We speculate, we talk rumors, and we just have a great grand time with the chat. It's always awesome. But everybody have a wonderful night. Stay safe. Be kind to one another. And I will see you guys very, very soon.